Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Weekly Outlook. Let's jump right to the charts. I have some interesting stuff marked out for next week and one thing in particular that I'm interested in. So let's get right to it. Let's start with EU. I see a potential nice continuation trade here shaping up with this liquidity pool here as the inducement target. And if we get something like this, you know, a little sweep, maybe a break of structure, and then we can take the longs here because this is a nice demand. The only thing that I think is a little iffy here that I don't like is that this demand is nice, has a strong push out, made higher highs, all that stuff, and we have the nice liquidity pool here with the equals. But what I don't like is that it didn't sweep anything. It just kind of happened without maybe sweeping these wicks here or anything. So it's not ideal. So I want to really see confluence here and see confirmation. So I have this new browser plugin that lets me draw candles. So let me try and use that. So let's say we get an inducement here, okay? And then we have a fat rejection candle, something like this. This is maybe worth entering. Or we can also have, if we remove this, let me draw something again. We can also have maybe a small rejection and then we form a little structure point here. We sweep this once more and then we break above with an imbalance. And then we can maybe take that from the imbalance higher. This is also an option, okay? If we have a break of structure, new imbalance, then we can maybe long it from here. So something like this, you know. Still covering the whole demand and then take it to the target for like a 1 to 1.5 R, something like this. But we really need that confirmation because this is not the ideal demand, so I really want to see something nice shaping up. Otherwise, I'm not interested. NZD-CHF is next on my list. We have a nice trend line forming here that could be a potential target for shorts. And what I want to see here is all the people trying to short here getting trapped, okay? And I want these equals to be swept. If this equals are not taken, I'm not looking for shorts, okay? It's not of interest until this is taken. So if this is taken and we get a nice break of structure, we can short into this trend line at least this week for a target. This could be nice, but we have to see if it's going to materialize. But it's my go-to setup. You see this? It's double equals here. It's like a double structure high on the weekly. If that gets swept with a nice 4-hour break of structure, ideally with two legs. With two legs, I mean we get the sweep and then we get the first leg with an imbalance, okay? Let me use my nice candle drawing tool again. I coded it, so now I want to use it, okay? So let's say we sweep this, okay? Then we make a higher high, something like this, and then we get, let's say, one imbalance, okay? Then we mitigate this, and then we get a second imbalance with a close below. Now we have a nice bearish structure, okay, with two legs. For me, it's important to have a second leg because I got spanked too often on just one leg. So this would be nice, okay? Two nice fair value gaps, and then just take it from the first imbalance here, market execute, and then hopefully take some profits down here. This would be very nice too. So let's see if that happens. I have an alarm here, and let's see. But I'm not gonna short it from these equals. I'm not suicidal, so all good. GBP NZD. Okay, this analysis started on the weekly, and what I saw here is that let me remove this. My drops are shit, I'm sorry. Okay, this is a weekly structure sweep. As you would see better, let me remove these lines, you can see it, you're not blind. This is a weekly structure sweep tapping into a fair value gap, and this is a nice little resweep with two fat rejections. And you see how nice that formed up. We have the initial weekly sweep here, okay? Let me draw that up again now, without the stupid text. Then we have a resweep and another resweep. Everybody gets fooled here. We are still bearish. And then boom, push out, okay? Now we have a nice fair value gap here. We had multiple liquidity sweeps here and tapped into that weekly fair value gap, which is obviously a huge area. So if we come down corrective, something like this, super ugly and slowly, and then we get a nice break of structure with imbalance. There you go. Okay, this is something we can long. So yeah, this happening and then just take it higher, while maybe also covering the stop. So I wouldn't just cover the stop of that drawing that what I just did, but actually the whole area. Just the drawing was just for confirmation purposes. So I would wait for the confirmation, enter somewhere here, but I would still cover my ass here, not just the confirmation, but the whole area covered. So this could shape up very nicely, and but it's still a young idea. We still have to come down in a corrective manner and still get that confirmation. So young idea, but worth marking out. Before we get into this one, I'm gonna go to the ones that we drew up last week. So last week I wanted to see on AUD CAD. I said we could short from multiple areas, and this one was the first one. So we did actually short from here, but I didn't really like this because CAD was very tough to estimate, because of the fundamentals, because of Trump, what he was saying and everything. And you saw what Trump said here, made a huge explosion here. And it was just, I thought AUD CHF, which I will come to nicer, so I wasn't interested in this particular. This would have been a semi-valid setup, but just not nice enough. We are corrective here, then we have one push down, then we are corrective down again. It's not convincing me that it's bearish. And yeah, fundamental wise also CAD, betting on CAD strength right now is a little difficult. NZD CAD is the same. So on AUD CAD and then NZD CAD, before I consider any shorts, okay, you see that they are correlating a lot actually. I want to see these inducement targets getting swept here. So this is here, that's why I have an alarm there, and that's why I have an alarm there. Because this is a nice short area potentially if we get our entry type, you know it, we sweep it, we break, and with a fair value gap, ideally 2 legs with 2 fair value gaps, and then we can short this. But before that happens, I'm not interested at all in shorting this. GBP AUD was one setup that was that I drew up that was a very young idea. I wanted to see something. The week started somewhere like here. The week started here. And I wanted to see something like this, like demand getting invalidated. We resweep all these equals here and then get our entry drill. But as you can see, it just didn't materialize at all. So this pair for now is not of interest. Maybe if we tap in, let me actually mark it like that because this is parallel to GBP NCD. So as you can see, these are correlating as well. So this could also be a nice play. Gonna put an alarm here. If we get our drill here, tapping in this area here, we could see nice shorts. So I'm gonna put this up here. But I like, it depends what gives the more beautiful confirmation, but I like GBP AUD more, no, GBP NZD more, because this order block swept before it pushed down and this one held the high. So for me, from my fundamental confluences, this looks nicer. So, but I will watch them both. Euro GBP just didn't materialize. First of all, I would have entered here probably, but didn't come high enough for me to short. But if I was in that short, man, I don't know what to think of that, man, because look how we are trickling down. For me, this is just loading an explosion to the upside. So this is not price action that validates a trade, even though it would be in profit. Maybe at that point I would actually just close it before the weekend, but I didn't enter anyway. So for me, this is not of interest anymore for now. I'm gonna move it back down. And yeah, so the premium setup that is really promising here, but already maybe has left the station, we have to see, is Euro CHF. Look how we swept the weekly structure point, and then I had a beautiful 2 legs. Okay, first leg here already breaking structure here, fair value gap, second leg fair value gap, making equals here, eventually validate breaking these equals. So another break of structure here, putting some more almost equals here. So this is loading liquidity here for a move shorter. a move lower. And what I'm afraid of here, I think this might have left the station because this could have been the inducement here. You see that? So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just continues selling off, okay? Because this could have been the inducement. If we come up here, leaving this liquidity untouched, here, let's say let me use my fancy little drawing tool. If we come up here corrective, okay? And we re-sweep this, give a nice rejection, maybe tap into that fair value gap here, okay? Give a nice rejection. This is still a valid short. Imagine something like this happening. You can mitigate the fair value gap and short it in here, for example, and then take this thing lower. This would be super cool, man. So hopefully, I'm gonna put an alarm actually here. I wanna see how price gets there, if price gets there, and I also wanna know when this liquidity here is all taken, I will probably not watch it anymore. Right now, it's a very clean setup that could still materialize, but I honestly think that we might just have missed our train here. And the trade that I'm in, actually, this is also what I drew up in the last weekly outlook, is this. We drew up that we want to see something like this getting swept and then break lower. Let me actually see where the week opened. I think the week opened after the sweep already. Yeah, this is Friday. Here, the week opened here, and I said I either want to see bearish confirmation ASAP, or alternatively we can also. Oh no, I remember what I said actually. If this gets taken, I said I'm not gonna look for shorts because of these equals here. But because of these equals being so far away, I don't see it as a danger. So actually the only thing that I wanted to see was this selling off right away, or at least in this area, and it did actually sell off right away, giving a beautiful confirmation. We have it again, right? We have a first leg fair value gap, second leg fair value gap. We are breaking structure here, clearly completely invalidating these demand areas here, putting some nice equals here for further targets lower. So, and then the super corrective move up, sweeping this inducement. I actually market executed here because I saw, most recently I saw a lot of possible trade setups not sweeping the inducement and just selling off, respecting the order block that is the inducement. So I just wanted to market execute here. And 2 minutes later, guys, 2 minutes later, Trump said something and it swept the inducement. I could have gotten a way better entry, but I'm not complaining. We don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm happy to be in this trade. Gave a reaction right away. If you see at the 15-minute chart, we had the Trump says something, push up, and then I don't know if he said another thing, but instantly a strong push down, putting some equals here. So I'm happy to be in this trade, man. Look how this whole setup is just so beautiful, man. Look, it's also another weekly high that is getting swept with the entry drill, with the momentum switch, right? This is corrective AF, man. The trend line is so disgusting. It makes me want to shower, really, just looking at this. So then we have the strong push down. We break all this. Nice fair value gaps everywhere. And now I have a stop loss that covers 2 fair value gaps, 2 supply areas that led to breaks of structures, sweeping liquidity of a weekly structure point, tapping into this old daily order block for the first time. This is textbook, man. This is so textbook. And if I zoom out, I see these huge wicks here, man. These are also almost equals here. I think that the long-term target is to take out these wicks here. This here. And this here. Obviously, I'm not going to hold that long, but I think we are on... I think we are just continuing lower here. It's also within the order flow of the weekly, so confident, man. I'm so happy to win this trade, and if it loses, man, I'm at peace, man. This is so clean for me. I don't care if this loses. Obviously, I'm going to care, but I'm going to be at peace with my decision making. And that's it. That's all I got drawn up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any feedback, I appreciate it. Leave me your feedback in the comments and I will get back to it 100%. And just thank you for your attention, guys. Take care. See you in the next one.